secrets, which is why then when he wants it all off his friends, the friends that he did have, they only put up with his behaviour for so long, and then they say, no, sorry, I can't deal with this anymore, you're too much. And then he'll sit and he'll cry about it.
Yeah, and because many people have tried to help over the years.
Well, one stuck by him for so long, and then he suddenly said, enough. And it was all because one carried on being friends with the other guy, and so all of a sudden Orion is screaming and shouting at him in the nightclub, calling him all the name under the sun, and oh, you've turned on me because you're still friends with him. Well, I'm sorry, but if I have a group of friends and two of them don't get along, does that mean I stop being friends with one of them or both of them? It's my choice who I'm friends with.
Right,
they haven't done wrong by me.
Right, exactly. It's sort of like, I think.
And as for this, where he's saying he has to push for this prescription,
yeah.
I mean, how long ago did he say that he'd been given the go-ahead to get the prescription for his hormones? The dye doesn't work, which means he doesn't have to pay for his prescription. Plus, if he, and I don't think he has, but if he has been diagnosed with body dysmorphia because he feels he's in the wrong body, he wouldn't have to pay for those hormones anyway. And he hasn't picked them up. He hasn't made any attempt to pick them up. He said the other day he had a phone appointment at 3 p.m. and he sat on the live all the way through. He didn't even have a phone appointment. He lies and he lies and he lies.
But see, this is where the thing that throws me is, like, why? I mean, it's obviously for the victimhood, but like,
absolutely,
the amount of lies that they've told, you would think that they would, back down a little bit. Like, I don't know. It's very...
He can't. He's so wrapped up in that lie. He doesn't know how to get out of it. He believes it himself now. That's the thing. He believes it himself. It's same as, like, the obsession with the character Elphaba. If he actually studied and read the books about her, she is the complete opposite kind of person that he is.
I've only done a light bit of...
She looks out for those... She looks out for those who are less fortunate than herself. She looks out for the animals. She looks out for those that are, like, discriminated against in any way whatsoever. He does not care about anybody else but himself.
But this is where sort of, like, I sit there and I'm like, they want to be this character so bad, but I'm like...
It's obsessive. It's obsessive.
But remember, it's not an obsession. It's a.
So you know then, Lottie, you know exactly the kind of person that Elphaba is as a character. Elphaba as a character is somebody who decides that because they are cast as an outcast, they are going to look out for the outcasts. So that's not the kind of person that he is. He is the kind of person who looks out. Well, Orion, I'm not even going to call him he. Orion looks out for Orion. You know, I mean, the things that they've done in the past and they feel no guilt whatsoever. Outing that poor woman with the 3 children, videoing the 3 children playing in the back garden, screaming and singing through the walls at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So then the children were not sleeping.
That was horrible. Like, and here's the thing. I think he distances themselves, like going down the psychological route. I think in their mind distances themselves from those things, like, because they constantly say, even when that happened a week later, they were like, oh, I've made mistakes in the past. So I think what he does,
that doesn't get rid of the mistakes that you're making right now, does it?
Well, exactly. And that's where sort of like, I've made mistakes in the past, but I'm like, are you talking about the past hour, the past like week, the past year, like? And then that's where sort of like...
Josh, I'm 51. You know, in my younger days, I made a lot of mistakes, you know. I learned as a person. By 21, I was an adult. And so therefore, you know, but I'm still learning every day. I'm learning every day, you know. When he sat there the other day and he used a derogatory term for the travelling community and then said, oh, it was just a skit. I didn't know what it meant. Well, you know, you don't learn things from Google, love. Google is like going to the reference section with the reference cards in the library. You're not learning, you know, you learn by your behaviours. But then when you get caught out on them, you don't then kick off and throw all your toys out the cot, do you? No, you don't. As for FASD, yeah, absolutely. You can tell by the facial features. Yes. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you can behave in a way that you do that then affects everybody else. When he was doing that sound thing, literally I had to take my phone upstairs out the way because my husband is epileptic. He did not give a shit about the people that he caused to have seizures or anything like that. He does not care if, you know, he starts screaming and shouting at everybody who calls him out negatively, you know. If you notice the meltdowns, oh, hang on, I've shut my dog out the back door. Hang on. Oh no, I haven't. He's just being a dickhead. Sorry, honey. Now you'll notice at the end of the month he'll start acting out. Okay, he'll start having the meltdowns and everything, you know. That's because he's got no money left. And he wants gifts to come in. You know, people were calling him out on food wastage the other day, and his answer was, well, that's your problem, not my problem, is it, if you can't afford to throw shopping out? Well, you buy all the shopping, Ryan, and then you're constantly getting takeaway deliveries in, so why bother buying the food, you know? You could actually have fruit and vegetables in your food to snack on rather than a load of crap. Yeah. But you're still going to be getting your Uber deliveries, aren't you, for everything else and whatever else you're ordering, which we know what the other thing is that they're ordering. No, the anger isn't an act. The anger is completely not an act. The anger is the come down. It's the come down. Yeah. They haven't had a drink because they can't afford one. They haven't had, you know, the Brazilian talcum powder because they can't afford it, and they use that as a crutch. They've said that. And so now it's a case of they've got to try and make as much content on as much crap as possible because they're not earning what they were earning. And so they're living beyond their means. They've got an expensive lifestyle with no funding. And so this is why we're having the constant meltdowns, because they can't go shopping all the time they want. They can't go out drinking all the time they want, you know. They are a complete and utter narcissist.
Well, exactly. Yeah. This is where sort of like they've had
the Basset House. You don't have a little bark.
They've had like thousands and thousands of pounds throughout the years, and I'm sort of like, I don't.
Look, have you noticed how they stare down? They stare down the camera to read all the comments, looking for the positive affirmations. And then if you get one, it's like, oh, yes, my queen, yes, my queen. Well, no, because then when all the blue hearts and blue squares come up on people who are calling them out without even a comment, then there's a meltdown. Yeah. It's like a child. It's like a child who's been told no too many times.
Yeah, like, what was it, blue hearts when they punched the wall?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. All because, I mean, they turn around and say it's because of X, Y, and Z. But I'm like, no, it's because people went in your chat and put blue hearts. And you lost it. He calls
cis women that, Lauren. And he always goes for the women. Have you noticed that? He always goes for the women. Oh, I'm going to do this to the women. If a woman says this to me, I'm going to do this. But they don't call out a man, do they? They never call out a man. They never threaten a man in any way. Because they know they'd get floored.
Oh, yeah. Like I think it was...
jealousy because we are biological women.
But I don't, like... No, like, I don't mean this to sound the way it's going to come out, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Sort of like, biological women, sort of like, because I've been raised by, like, very much strong biological women, right?
Yeah.
And so I've had to... Well, not had to, but, you know, females in my life have turned around and said exactly what a woman goes through. Like, I know in detail what a period is.
Yeah. Yeah. and then we get out of that situation and we're like, oh, great, I'm okay now. No, bam, here comes the menopause. Geez, Can I get a break?
Okay, side tangent. I saw a joke about menopause. Someone turned around and said,
I'm in it, love.
so somebody said basically, women collect dogs and cats as they get older. It's called many paws. I'm like,
Yeah, pretty much. I was trying to convince my husband the other day to let me have another kitten, and he was like, "No, why do you need another kitten?" And I went, "Because I just did." He was like, "No, you want another kitten." And I went, "There's no difference, just let me have it." And he was just like, "No, you're not having one, love. You're not having one." So I was like, "Well, okay, then I'm going to go online and order myself things." Yeah, and I didn't, but I wanted to, and I still didn't get the kitten.
But like,
It's just, they don't even make me angry anymore because they're just so ridiculously pathetic.
that's what I was going to say. Basically, the reason why I brought up like biological women and periods and stuff is because I'm sort of like, I can sympathize but not empathize. So, like, because I don't go through, I'm never going to go through it. But I'm sort of like, why are they so jealous of what a woman goes through? Because it's not pleasant.
Because in his brain, women get more leeway, women get more sympathy. And that, I think that's what it comes down to. Women are seen as nurturers. They're seen as, the one that you go to, motherly, maternal. But he hasn't got any of those qualities because he doesn't care about anybody, And women, I'm sorry, but the majority of women are extremely proud of their appearances. Not me. I don't give a shit. I cut my own hair, and you're lucky if I wear makeup once a month. And then I'm not even going anywhere. I just think, do you know what? I feel like a little bit of makeup today. I do it for myself. I don't do it for anybody else. I do it for myself. But I mean, I've been with my husband for 26 years. So, but if I wanted to wear makeup every day, I would. Now, he keeps going on about the whole toilet thing, that if any woman approaches him in the toilet. Now, I'm sorry, but as somebody who has actually advocated for somebody who went through the transition and witnessed the birth certificate being changed and went through every step with them, okay, I know that if I was in a public toilet and a trans woman came into the toilet, I would have no issue whatsoever. Not a single one, because as women, we support one another. We're not all bitches. We support each other, and we'd be like, yes, you're one of us, solidarity sister. Do you know what I mean? I have in the past, if I've been at a festival or something and the queue is too long for a women's toilet, I bang on the door on the men's and I say, "Woman, coming in, need the loo." Yeah, come in, love, no problem. There's a cubicle.
This is what I do. This is what I
They
really
make
don't.
something out of nothing.
Yeah, because what I don't understand, right, is so I want to do like drag and things like that. I got the wigs, got the makeup. I just need the sparkly dresses, really. Anyway.
Well, you know what size you are, Joshy, because I've got a shed full of prom dresses that I used to sell to drag queens.
I have no idea what size I am.
You have one for nothing, darling. I've got wedding dresses and prom dresses. I don't do it anymore, but I used to provide them with people who were just starting out.
Oh, really? Wow. I don't know what size I am, to be fair. But so the like when it comes to like, the bathroom thing, sort of like drag queens have gone into female toilets before, so like it's more in the gay sort of
and
scene.
Drag queens support women hugely.
Yeah, I like.
And a drag queen doesn't necessarily want to transition.
No.
They're just who they are.
Well, exactly. So that's it. Because people have turned around and said to me, are you trans? Because like I do makeup, I've got wigs and all this. And I was like, no, I'm a man.
I do makeup and wigs. Am I trans? No. Elphaba is not trans.
By the way, there is also
Orion is not trans. Orion is a homosexual man who likes to dress as a woman. Now, it could be taken as a derogatory term, and if it is, I genuinely apologise to everybody, but they would be known as either a cross-dresser or a transvestite. okay? They are a man who dresses and lives as a woman, okay? They have no intention of transitioning because they've had every opportunity to do it. They've had the money 4 times over. They have no intention of doing it. They like to buy nice things. They like to waste money. They like to eat out. They like to do all these things except what they've actually promised that they're going to do.
See, that's the thing, sort of like, okay, do I like to buy nice, pretty things? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but we don't go to bleeding Gucci and spend £200 on a bloody hair bobble, do we? We don't spend 175 on the worst dress you could possibly find in the store.
They don't necessarily have good fashion sense, I will say that.
Yes, and we don't spend £400 on a fancy dress hat.
Like, what the... I get... See, this is my sort of like...
And they were having this meltdown the other day, weren't they? And I'm going to do this to myself, and I'm going to do this to myself. Yeah. And then 20 minutes later, they watched the new trailer for Wicked #2, and they were just hysterically happy again. I mean, I wish my mental health could be fixed that quickly.
I know, right? As a side tangent, though, I have seen the new Wicked Part 2.
And it looks amazing.
It looks amazing.
It looks amazing, it does. But now we know that all they're going to be singing is I Have Been Changed for Good.
Oh, yeah. No, that's very true.
But I didn't allow them to stop me watching the film either.
No.
So a lot of people said, I can't bear to watch it because of them. They're not going to affect my life in that way. Absolutely not. Because to me, they're nothing. They're insignificant. That's what they are. They're insignificant. They're not even entertaining. The only reason I do the videos that I do, and it's for the same reason as you, Josh, is awareness. Because they have caused danger to minors. They said the day before yesterday, if there's any parents with children watching this right now, I am not the one to be watching. So they know who is in the room. They know who is there.
Oh, they know. They're very much well aware. If he has stuck all that money they got into a GIA, he would be pretty comfortable and have some... Yeah, exactly.
He very much reminds me. He's not on the same level, but he reminds me of Ems. You know, Ems is a obvious alcoholic. Okay, he is a binging alcoholic. When they have the money, they binge drink. They drink as much as they possibly can in a short period of time. Yeah. Okay. Which actually causes more damage.
It does. It does.
Because it floods your system. Okay. And they know how to play the system. That's the worrying thing. He is in a facility that is for women who have been through mental, physical, any kind of violence. Okay. And he was asked politely, please can you not sing as I do night duties and day duties? And he went, yeah, absolutely, sweetheart, but I'm a professional singer. I need to sing. You're not a fucking professional singer, right? So what was his answer? I know, I'll buy a microphone and I'll sing at 6:30 in the morning because they've said it's okay if I only do it at certain hours of the day. Oh, well, all right then, if we're going to go by the actual council legislation, yeah, you're not supposed to have loud music on between the hours of 7 a.m. and 11 p.m, right? Between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m, you can have your music on as loud as you want. But after that, you're supposed to stop. But do they stop? No, because they don't give a shit about anybody else. Because he has decided that singing is his therapy. Well, it's not therapy for the fucking rest of us.
No, it really isn't.
You wouldn't get that. If I had that singing at me all day in Guantanamo Bay, mate.
Guantanamo Bay. Hey, Emery, Jesus, my brain froze then.
Yeah, I've changed my username again.
Which one's your username again? Wait, let me have a look.
It's Emery the Moogle.
Oh.
Everybody wasn't calling me Emery Mon. They were like Emery, they're just gonna, and then they would just give up. So I was like, it's too difficult for people.
Hi, Katie, my darling. Have you been to the gym yet again? I bet you have. So yeah, they're just a horrible person.
Let's bring Lauren. Hello, Lauren. So we're just having a general chit chat today. So
Hi, Dolly. How are you, Joshi? Nina and
Yes.
Emery that you've just come on. Nina,
Hiya.
I really appreciate. I love a psychologist. I absolutely adore it.
I love it too.
I've found it so you kind of verbalize everything that we think. So it's just
I try.
very articulate. No, it's been very not entertaining, but like educational as well. So I'm just going to keep stum
The
after
thing
this.
is that when I started watching them, you know, rather than just guess, no, I researched and researched and researched. You know, I had all the information I could possibly print out on transitioning, and transitioning on average cost me about 40k. If you're going to do it well, it costs about 40k. And the number one overlying agreement when you go to transition is you must keep up your personal hygiene. You must, right?
Yeah.
One of the first agreements that you make, okay?
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. That's why it hasn't gone any further. Do I think they went to the gender GP the other week? No. I think they went to a sexual health clinic. That's why they
I
went.
could make a really bad joke there, but I'm not going to.
Because, you know,
Please do.
don't make
Please do,
out
Josh.
that
You know
don't
what you were
a
about to
dark room
say.
is when you know what a dark room is, you know?
Dark. Sorry.
And it would have to be very dark.
Well, you have beer goggles as well. I will turn around and say I've been in a dark room
Good on you, mate, but at least you admit it, don't you?
many years ago.
There's absolutely
Are we
there's
talking
nothing
about a
wrong with the
certain
dark.
type of dark room? Because I've been
Yeah.
in.
Sorry,
one
but when I
myself.
was in my 20s, I loved a one-night stand. And I'll hold my hand up to
Oh, I haven't
it.
been in a one night stand.
Oh, I loved them because I had no responsibility whatsoever. It was like, I got my kicks, you got your kicks, see you later. No, I don't need your phone number, thank you very much, goodbye. You know? And,
yeah, exactly.
I always hold my hands up to that. Even my children know. You know, yes, I did do that. And yes, I learnt some tricks. And yes, that's why your dad loves me so much in such a way. But I'm not going to deny it because why would I?
No, exactly.
I'm
It's
not going
sort of
to
like
deny anything that I did when I was young.
you see.
Do
This
you
is where. I know. So I was just going to say, this is where I think when you add sort of like when you look at E, it's sort of like they seem to have a lot of shame when it comes to being sexual or being any kind of way. It's sort of like there seems to be a lot of shame there, and I'm just like, I don't give a crap. I've done threesomes, foursomes, fivesomes. I've done everything to me. I don't care.
Go on, Josh.
Oh, Josh, you kinky so and so.
Well, my friends did call me the slut of Birmingham back in the day.
Oh.
What do you guys think about him being, and I don't think this is an excuse or a rider for him, that he is, I guess, 21, he's coming up to 22 this year, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I just,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel a little bit guilty, but then I think when I was 21, I was in a totally different position from him, and I was,
Home
you
at
know,
16. My husband
Yeah.
left home at 16.
exactly, so I don't think the age thing.
My eldest was 22.
Hayley.
She bought her first house at 21. She worked hard from the age of 16 and she had enough saved to buy her first house at 21. And she's been with her fiance since she was 17. They were best friends. It's like something from a lovely movie. And now they're getting married this year. And they saved and they saved and they saved. So then when they got to 21, they could buy their own house and they could get on the housing market. But even at 10 years old, she knew what was right and wrong, you know? It took us 7 years to have our second. We had a lot of miscarriages in between, and it took us 7 years. So from the point we had her sister, she was more parent than we were parent. She's always been the one that, if the youngest is in trouble, she's like, don't tell my sister. Because she knows what is right and wrong. My children have been taught respect, they've been taught empathy, they've been taught to understand and to, you know, hold a quiet space for people who have mental health, okay?
Yeah.
Orion definitely has something, but it's not mental health.
Yeah, and one of the things, and I'm going to drop down in a sec. Don't worry, because otherwise I get too mouthy, and I don't want to. One of the things,
Like you, Laura.
I can be quite mouthy, actually. Unfortunately, regrettably, but I'm not as good at either of you as doing it. I show myself up. But one of the things that irritates me quite a bit is that when people say you need to be sectioned, he needs to be sectioned. Like, no way. Like, I've been in mental hospitals, and there's no way that anybody needs to be denigrated. Like, he has not got anything wrong with him mentally. Otherwise, we would have found out about it. He would have learned a bit of compassion about it. I find it hard to see that people think that other people with mental illnesses deserve to be around him. That's what I find difficult.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, oh, I have got ADHD because the paramedics told me I have. No, that was just a general information sheet, love, that you can print off the NHS website. You can go to the library and print that off. You can walk into any medical facility whatever and pick up one of those forms. Oh, well, a self-diagnosis of autism is a diagnosis of autism. No, it isn't. It isn't. My diagnosis of myself is that I'm unstable, unhinged, and fucking fabulous. Okay? Those are my pronouns. And I've diagnosed myself with those things. At times, I'm a moody bitch. And I like that. Okay? But it's just the whole ridiculousness of anything. He started, have you noticed he started doing this thing now where he started like flapping his hand every now and again? Yeah, that's a Tourette's thing. He'll sit there and he'll flap his hand and then he'll look at it. Ethan Klein does that. He's a wanker as well, but that's into politics. It's also something that Ozzy Osbourne does for obviously historical reasons. He will grip onto any diagnosis he can find. I mean, to think that you're going to get picked because of your skin condition is just comical.
Did you see a clip, right? And I was going to comment on it. Hi, Alexa, by the way, and everyone. I was going to comment on it, right? Where it was in the chat, and they were going on about Pip, right? And then somebody said, they asked them what they were going to use Pip for, which you can use Pip for things like rent and food, right? But then he turned around and said, I don't even know what it's for. So why are you applying for it then?
Yeah, he's applying for it because he knows it's extra money. But you can be on Pip and work.
You can, yeah. People have done, yeah. And like when it comes to the whole skin condition thing, like this is where, and I don't know, people have said this to them. It's not the fact that you have the condition; it's how the condition affects you.
How it detriments the rest of your life.
It's not bad, does it? Because he can still go out and get drunk and go clubbing, can't he? He's not hiding himself away, is he?
No. Whereas
abscesses and things that he keeps saying he's getting, well, I'm sorry, but that's bad hygiene. Because if you had the skin condition to the point where you get abscesses, then you would go to your GP, wouldn't you? And you would say, this one is extremely painful, and could I have some kind of antibiotic or something? You would help yourself. He doesn't want to help himself. He wants everybody else to help him.
But I don't get, like...
It's narcissism.
You make a good point there, Nina, because like I don't know what the figure is right now for how much they've taken. Last I heard, it was 300,000. But like coming from someone like myself, like that level of money, that would have at least cleared all of my transition.
Yeah,
let's be blunt. Like, it could have done my facial. It could have done my facial feminization surgery. It would most definitely do my voice feminization surgery. I've only just found out that one's 4K.
I printed. It was like a book, and I sat there and I read it over the course of a week. I read it every single bit, and everything, including like your appointments, your medications, your voice surgery, your vaginoplasty, everything. In total, it came to about, I think it worked out about 46 grand, right?
Yeah.
And that's
astonishing
everything.
to me. It seems so astonishingly unfair. Sorry, my words as well getting mixed up. It seems astonishingly unfair that you have to be wealthy in order to afford a transition. It just does not. And I'm no communist.
But you can do it on the NHS, but it's an extremely long waiting list and an extremely high criteria. You have to prove that you feel that your life is not worth unless you can become the person who you truly believe yourself to be. And the cost is so high because you do get people who do the transition and then regret it. And so,
yeah, it's a very small number, but yeah, some people have.
I just find that so unfortunate that, like, for people that do have genuine gender dysphoria and that genuinely are trans, that it just is so, I guess, can I say?
I hope one day I'm proved wrong and that he is and he does transition. I really do hope that I'm wrong.
For 1 second, I don't believe Elphaba is trans at all. I
need that diagnosis with all mental health. Like, you need that diagnosis, but not once. You need it twice. For gender dysphoria alone, you need two to be taken seriously.
Thank you for the harmonies, everyone. Which part is incorrect information? I know Dartmouth's put it up and Alexis put it up as well. This is incorrect information. Which part? 1 second, I need to cough.
Sorry, I hope it's not me that's giving out incorrect information. I hope it's not me. Maybe it is.
No, I think that maybe the correct incorrect information is the having to pay, like it being expensive. Whereas you can get it free on the NHS.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is privately, if you do it privately, it's nearing 50. It's at least 40 plus grand if you're doing it privately, depending on which clinic you go to.
Yeah, I think it depends. And this is where
GP has a bad rep for diagnosis as well, because it usually takes about 5-6 appointments from what I've heard.
Yeah, and he says that he had the blood tests. Okay, well that would have shown up traces of whatever was in the system, and he wouldn't pass the psych evaluation.
But I think that's the reason why sort of like we're going down the mental health route of things, because if you go down the poor mental health, then it would it's almost like they're trying to create one lie to sort of overshadow another one.
But
Even
the whole skin condition thing as well, like,
yeah,
I think what you were trying to say earlier, Josh, obviously words, it's how they will investigate that when they sit them down face to face. Will say, like, what and how does your condition affect your daily life?
Yeah.
Like, what is a day-to-day, like, what's your daily routine?
Yeah, it is.
You have to stick this on your skin because, ow, I've been in a dry thing. Like, do you need a humidifier in your room to keep your body moist because of your skin condition? Like, there's multiple factors.
Yeah, and it's like, can you, like for me, for example, one of the questions that is on the PIP form is, can you cook a meal? Now
I've been asked that one.
Yeah, and now this is when my keloid scarring can affect something like that because of heat. It's not just because I have a skin condition, it's how that affects my day-to-day life. It's like I can't really go out much because wind, t-shirts, all those things. It's sort of like
Yeah,
it's
a
not the
sensitivity, isn't it?
yeah, it's the really bad sensitivity, but it's sort of like it's not the condition, it's how that condition affects your every single waking day.
Yeah.
And this was sort of like they're saying, I want to claim PIP. That's difficult to get for a start.
Yeah.
And
I've been reassessed like
Yeah.
4 times.
I got it the second time, but that's like the second time, and I had a lot of help with that as well. And but this is where sort of like it's not the thing that drives me nuts is he wants like PIP and things like that, and I'm sort of like, as someone that sits here every single day, and I go, it's called cabin fever, I think, where you're indoors all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It drives you nuts. It drives you absolutely nuts. And it's sort of like, I would love to be able to do all the things that he's able to do, or like anyone who doesn't have these conditions is able to do.
Which is why I think he's going down the mental health route, because I think he absolutely watches every video that is got his hashtag on. And on one of the videos, I said, you will not get PIP for mental health unless you are under the actual Mental Health Act and actively taking help.
Yeah.
It's so triggering. I actually went to the London protest about the PIP cups probably about a couple of months ago. It happened.
Yeah.
And exactly as you're saying, Joshy, like a lot of people couldn't even attend because, you know, they wanted to, but they couldn't attend because of their conditions.
Yeah.
Do you know how stupid I was as well, being me? I thought we were going to march to Downing Street, but like, obviously everyone's in wheelchairs. We just did like this lovely little, there were lots of people that just kind of spoke about the PIP cuts, how it's definitely going to affect people, how it's definitely going to lead to such devastation and impact on everyone. And I don't get PIP, even though I've got like a severe mental health condition. I'm not, like, my mental health nurse is always nagging me to apply for it. But it's honestly such a difficult thing that I would never, you know, it's the government's fault. It's people trying to make money from the poorest of society, trying to fill the hole in our economy that is because of other reasons. And as you know, it really stuck with me that people should tax the rich, not tax the poor, that kind of thing. But that's just my political persuasion. And I think I've said enough, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. And we really should tax the rich, but people are too afraid that they're going to take their services. And I'm just like, well, let them take them then.
I mean, I won't get into politics because I'm a socialist anyway. So very few people agree with me.
So, socialism. So socialist is my brain. Socialist is the like on a level playing field.
Yeah, it should be a drip down society. So the rich get capped at a certain point, and when they go above that point, then it should be dripped down into essential services.
But
I'm also like, I mean, I'll hold my hands up and I'll say it. I'm Free Palestine. You know, I've been closely watching what's been going on with the Madeleine.
I have as well, yeah.
And spent about 2 hours this morning crying because of that. But I mean, I am on PIP, and it still took me 2 tries to get it, and that was still being under the actual mental health team. And I still had to prove it. Now, it's the forms for me, because the statement that I put on the end of the second one was, if you could live in my brain for one day, you would understand what I go through, yet you can't. All you see is the word on the paper, and because of that, you have a biased opinion. Yes, I am quite eloquent in how I can write things, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be believed. Now, to see people who try and use the system incorrectly at the detriment of those that do need it and that are desperate for it infuriates me, because our government would rather spend money on ridiculous things such as missiles and other such things, which I don't agree with, and I hold my hands up to that. And I have no shame in it. There are children, I think we are at the highest rate now of children living under the poverty line.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there are children who are only getting a meal once a day when they are at school. During COVID, you know, there were children who were malnourished and everything. And he thinks that it's acceptable to just sit and think emptying his fridge's content and to throw everything away. You know, to just waste money and other such things. And, you know, there are people in need. If he cared about anybody, he would be at marches. He went to the
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna jump out. I'm gonna drop out. But thank you so much. This has been such a great live. Like, it's honestly, Josh's lives are always honestly guaranteed to be very informative, and it's very careful. And thanks, Nina. Thanks, Emery. Thanks everyone in the chat. Thanks for the gifts. All that nonsense. I'm going to drop out.
All right.
Got things to do. All right. Bye, darling.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, he's not interested in how the world affects other people. He's only interested in how the world affects him.
Yeah.
He hasn't got mental health issues. He's got addiction issues.
Yeah.
He's addicted to TikTok. Now, to come out with a ridiculous statement such as, I grew up on TikTok. Well, there's thousands of other people who grew up on TikTok. But they don't act the way that he does. He's entitled, is what he is. He's entitled.
Yeah. Very, very, very much entitled.
It's going to take a bit of, like, they really need to get humbled, because the last time they got close to being humbled was
by the House of Deville.
Oh yeah. You knew exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah.
You knew exactly.
They messed with the wrong one.
I've seen that video multiple times flooding my For You page.
We're just having a chat, Kimberly. We're just having a random. I was going to say gossip session, but no, that's not what it is. Just a random chat.
We've all got tea.
The thing is that if you go for the House of Deville, it's not going to end well.
Oh no.
But like
that was silly. Like, what was their mind process for that?
Because they think they're a big man.
Highly known and highly loved on TikTok.
Because they think they're a Billy Big Bollocks.
Yeah, exactly. They thought they're like, oh, I can literally, because I get all this money and because I
can guarantee House of Deville was literally on recon duty with any of like their community to be like, where are they? And
he wouldn't come on the live, Katie. He wouldn't. He only went on the live the other night with Corey and somebody else because it was controlled. And even then, he tip-tapped around answers. He never said anything truthful.
Yeah. Like, he won't come to any of these lives because
he knows he'll get called out.
Yeah, get called out straight away. I'm sorry, like, I'm not going to sit here and listen to your manipulative bullshit. Screw that crap. No way.
If you got somebody like Misty or Lord Lush in here, right, he would run a mile.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't... This is where it's sort of like... And I think the reason why he chooses women to... You know, people who they think that they can manipulate and think that they are...
We're the weaker sex, but we are not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like you, Josh. I was brought up by two women. I was brought up by my mum, and I was brought up by my auntie. Okay, I was brought up by two very, very strong women.
Yeah.
So I was brought up as a strong woman who would speak her mind.
Yeah.
And, you know, do I think that Orion was neglected as a child? Yes. But I've also had conversations with the man that his mum was with when Orion was a child. And he said once he left high school and spent all his time on his phone, that's when he became the person that he was. That's when he started acting out. That's when he started really upping the level. So, you know, and that just shows, doesn't it? Because they weren't at school, so they had no routine.
Yeah. Yeah. School days were very, very interesting for me, but yeah.
I mean, school days were hard for me, you know. I moved from Lancashire to Norfolk, left everybody I knew at 12 years old because my mum moved us away from... well, anyway, I've done a video on that. My childhood was not great. And then I was raised by my mum and my auntie. And just... I was taught that it's nice to be nice. You know, you treat others how you expect to be treated. It doesn't always go that way, but you go out with the right intentions.
Yeah.
You know, and you might get 10% of that respect back, but eventually you'll find your people, you know? Yeah. You'll find your group and your circle will get smaller, but the circle that you have will be much more stable and much more important to you because you'll see through people's lies, you'll see through people's fakeness.
But exactly.
From the first time I watched Orion,
yeah.
I just saw straight through him.
Yeah. So somebody asked...
and you don't need a degree for that.
Anyone seen their live today? No. I haven't.
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't seen their live today. I think I...
and I'm not even banned from their live or muted.
I'm banned from one. Which was the main one at one point.
I'm banned because I kept spamming in the chat that I wanted to take them on in a wrestling or boxing match.
I got muted the other day because
I still stand by that as well. I still stand by that.
They did clouds. We've had that one. I got muted because I said, "Where's the hormones?"
That's a good question. Like,
I mean, what kind of person?
Exactly.
Josh,
like people would pay to see that. I'm sorry. Like, I want to physically humble Elphaba.
Yeah.
So much.
Wait.
Like.
Do I pay for what?
By the way, winner gets Elphaba's account.
Yeah, I've got one or two, but I don't.
Right. Do you have all their personal information, phone numbers, addresses?
No.
No. But in order to be a mod for Orion, he has to know your personal information, he has to have a contact number, he has to have your address, because then if anything goes wrong in his life, he has somebody to blame and somebody to dox.
Yeah, exactly.
He was asking his mods and all his loyal followers the other day to take screenshots of anybody who made a negative comment on them and to then get a picture of their face and then to try and find out as much information as possible.
That's data mining.
Doing that with me because everything in regards to new me and old me, like, they are completely separate. Old me's information is dead. I mean that. They're gone. They're vanished.
Right,
they no longer existed.
I mean, he called the police on Riley for cam to him. It's a public platform.
It is. But you're not allowed to cam to. You're not allowed to cam to.
Not illegal. Cam to-ing is not illegal.
It's not. It's not illegal. It's not illegal whatsoever. Although... I keep on saying though, if you want to call the police, go for it. As long as he's fit and we've got the handcuffs, I'm game.
I said that. I said, look, personally, sorry, I'm eating my tea. I said, personally, I prefer a fireman. But, you know, a truncheon and a helmet, the door's open.
Well, exactly. It's all like, yeah. You might not see the police officer for about a week, but that's neither here nor there.
Gosh. Oh, this is why I love you, Josh. Oh, somebody
Thank you.
sent a good gift.
Thank you. The noise is I'm trying to work the phone. I'm not good with technology. But no, like they keep on mentioning the police, and I'm just like, okay. And I like a man in uniform. What do you want? All because somebody was cam 2ing. I'm like, okay.
I'll call the police on everybody. Please do. Because the amount of police reports that you make, they must answer the phone now and go, oh, God.
The amount of police, the amount of 111 calls, the amount of ambulances that have been called out. It's like, damn. That's because Riley was getting more gifts. Aww, but like, he doesn't like the fact that somebody's getting more gifts than them. Well, that's... Maybe you shouldn't have pissed off the whole of freaking the UK. Then people
And then
would
he
send
doesn't
you
like
gifts.
it if he gets the potato gifts, does he? But, you know, it's still a gift.
I saw that. I was like, potato... What? Thank you for following the live, George. Potato gifts? Is that a new one?
Yeah.
Oh, is it a new one? Oh, yeah, they weren't happy about that. And I'm like, it's a gift. Although I did see conversations happening where they were doing it on purpose to be sent more gifts, because that's the only way that they can get the gifts is if they turn around and say, I don't like their gifts, so people will send
Baiting.
more just to piss them off. Yeah.
He is an agent provocateur. That's what he is.
Yeah, exactly, Smuggy. Yeah, they set it as their goal. I'm like, what? They do things on purpose, and I'm like, so when people turn around and say, is Elphaba smart? I wouldn't say so, but they're smart with
I don't
manipulation.
know, they managed to fool a bunch of
They're
minors.
clever, they're just not intelligent.
Mm,
There's a difference.
yeah, there is a... like, you gotta love people. I don't know, it's just... I wonder what today's issues are going to be.
Oh, they'll probably say something problematic as per usual.
Wait. Yeah, but I feel like it may be a rinse and repeat because, like, I keep on hearing the same, like, you're affecting my mental health. Oh, that was it. I think this was yesterday. They keep on saying about manipulation. I saw it on like an IG thing. Where
Coming
they're like,
from, like, the actual king of manipulation.
right, but they turned around and said, what is it? Manipulation is something about reacting. And I'm like, I'm trying to remember it fully, but like it was reacting to, it was basically manipulation is getting someone to react and then being upset with the reaction. And I'm sort of sitting there going, you sat there for the past 5 years, rage baited people and abused people. Like, the biggest manipulator out there. Josh, those 5 signs of emotional unintelligence are... yeah, there's basic pop psychology throwouts. And this is where I'm sort of like, hey, do you know what reactive abuse is? Like, that's exactly what you do on a daily basis. You cause a problem.
He gaslights. And then when you call him out on it, he says that's transphobic.
Transphobic, or yeah. And I think Darvo is their new, well, not their new, but like Darvo is how they do things. Deny, attack, reverse, victim and offender. It's just wild because it's just like we see. But now what they're trying to do is they're trying to flip the script onto somebody else. They're trying to say, well, everybody else does this. And most of the time, I literally, when I see these clips, I scream at my phone sometimes because I'm like, you could end the live. There is an X button at the top. You could just end it. But then they turn around and say, oh, I need people. I need like friends. And this is how I come to communicate because I'm alone. And I'm like, okay.
You go out at night in nightclubs and then you say you don't have any friends.
But then,
Okay.
they turn around and say, what happened to all that support group things that they were going to do when they first moved into this place? Oh, I'm getting a LGBT group. I'm doing this. And I'm sort of like, so either those things were set up and you've not done them, or I just sit there and I'm like, there are ways to get support.
They were going to do a run for cancer research as well, weren't they?
But now the situation is I need to get myself sorted first, then I'm going to do it now. Now the story's changed.
I have a question. And
Yes, I have this this GoFundMe for my transition, but I need to get myself sorted out first.
And yes, Emery, I am fabulous. That's the question, right?
Well, that was part one of part two. Smart ass. Anyway, no. My question was like, what? It's based around what Haley just said. Like, they've said like that their main account has been permanently blocked, so you're not blocked anymore. However, this is not just my gripe with E, but also my gripe with TikTok entirely. They have a report button. Somewhere in them reports, there is literal, like, account ban or like ban invasion. Like, how have they not been reported again for evading a ban and then not had their accounts taken?
That's a good
It's
question.
just like a lot of people who are popular on this platform are popular because of rage bait. And this is one thing I hate about this this actual app. Like people like Elphaba, like even what's his name, Paul Breach. Like it was the same thing, different toilet, same shit, different toilet.
Yeah, Paul Breach is another one. What I was going to say about TikTok. Oh, by the way, you know one of my videos today? It's a blank screen before you click into it, right? You can put what's it called, a caption picture, right? And it normally filters one for you, right? However, this one was blank. You can still watch the video, but it's just the screen at the beginning. So I tried to appeal it. Guess what? It won't let me accept the appeal. And I'm like, but it's just me as the picture. So I've been battling with TikTok today, and I've been like, I wanted to scream and be like, you're not allowing this approval when it's just a picture of me responding to a video. I don't get it. It's all AI. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. AI is taking over. Which I don't mind AI, but it would be nice for humans to actually, do things, because AI has been around for a while. We don't want to talk to bots. I want to sort things out.
It annoys me with like any of these adverts I see on TikTok, and it's clearly like an AI mouth, and I'm like, ugh. Like,
what was it?
You don't have a budget for advertisement.
But they do have the budget though. Like when it comes to like the budget, like because it's all the high end ones that seem to be using the AI thing, and I'm like, you do have a marketing budget, right? And like, I just think they're being a bit lazy with it. Considering what gets through the AI, it obviously doesn't work. Well, for some reason, Haley, this is what drives me nuts. E can do what the hell they want. They can drink on live. They can do whatever they like. We say a bad word.
Haven't they done a bit of sniff on
Oh, I think that was.
It shows under their nose.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the fact of like, they're not that clever to be like,
But they will openly like drink from a bottle of wine on screen. Whereas, I mean, not when I do lives, but when I've been in other people's boxes and I've shown my face, if I sit there with a glass of Coke, I get kicked off because they class it as alcohol.
Exactly.
I've been cleaning my kitchen. I think Josh was in that live of mine. I was doing a body double stream. I literally put it on live on a stand in my kitchen, and I was just was talking to people whilst I was cleaning the kitchen. So I had somebody in, like, quote, in the room watching me, making sure that I have like some communication whilst I'm cleaning the kitchen, because I struggle doing it by myself. My brain doesn't do the things that give me the boost to actually do things, so I usually either have to have my wife, and I did a body double. I got my live taken down because, according to TikTok, I was butt naked. And I'm like, could you show me the evidence? I'm still waiting for that email.
Yeah, it doesn't
My
make any
TikTok
sense.
went down because I was apparently naked. Like, I looked at the video as well. I wasn't naked at all. I was like, could you show the evidence that I was naked? Like, it would make sense if I was like scratching my shoulder and they saw a bra strap, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's just wild. Yeah.
And he sleeps. He sleeps on live, doesn't he?
See, yes, but I don't know whether he's faking that or not, because you can see the little eye move. So look at the chat, and I'm like, But yeah, they do, which is again against terms of service.
Probably start saying he's got narcolepsy soon.
Don't give them ideas. We don't know if they're sniping the live.
Well, he keeps yawning all the time, doesn't he?
Hell yeah. Like, yeah, they keep on yawning all the time. Well, you want to know where that is, E? I can tell you exactly where that is. Because there's no circulation, there's no movement. I get like that. There are times I have something to eat, and then I literally fall to sleep in the chair and wake up an hour later going, what happened? What day is it? I'll be watching something on the big red button app, and like I'll fall to sleep, and then I'll wake up and be like, that's not what I was watching.
I've done that. I'd be watching somebody do like a speed run of a video game, and then like I'll wake up and apparently I'm watching Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. Surprisingly enough, that's actually happened today. I jumped into
I have to have a nanny nap every day. I love my daily nanny nap.
I do love a good nap.
Oh, I love a nap.
Yeah, me too. It's just the fact of like it comes out of nowhere.
I'm usually in bed by now. I'm usually like, 7 o'clock, cool, that's late. So yeah.
Nah, like that'll be the next thing. Yeah, that kind of thing. I follow people in my sleep from the hand positioning. I'm confused. Oh, like you start following people on TikTok. That took me a second. I'm trying to.
The thing is that he's faked so many things, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's the thing.
What's the list that they've done? They've done epilepsy. They've done autism.
They've done ADHD.
ADHD.
Tourette's.
Tourette's. Yeah, that was a big one.
Depression. God, there's a list. I mean, I know I've got a medical list, but
300K. Like, how are you depressed?
Yes.
300K. How are you depressed?
Pressing the fart noise on the phone while he was in the bathroom, wasn't he? Because he's got 2 phones. Yeah, and so it's IBS.
They were faking IBS by going into the toilet with a closed door and using like a farting app.
That's what it sounded. You know, like when you get them keyring things that do the fart sounds.
Oh yeah.
It sounded like one of them, and he was in the bathroom the other day on live, doing all them noises, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, it's IBS."
Okay, well, I hope you have a good day. But yeah, like no, I get it. It's sort of like, see, they on their medical records, which I don't know why they decided to show their medical records, by the way, again. But on their medical records,
Because that out with so much else.
like it does say IBS, but like that was in 2000 and don't quote me, 19, I think it said on the form. It's been a while since I looked at it,
Yeah,
but
but
I think
mild, wasn't it? So it's not like chronic daily
No.
IBS. It was just like you've got a bout of IBS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I got some notifications. God, my phone is
Blowing up. Because you're popular.
no, it's just I really should.
Popular.
You know when you click the bell and hey Angie, you know when you click the bell, so you get notified of like everybody else's stuff. I did that on.
I'm not that big on TikTok, Josh.
No, I did it on
I'm
Facebook.
not that popular.
I did I'm not that popular. I'm just nosy. So I did it on Facebook and Instagram. So like my phone's constantly going off. That's the reason why it's on silent most of the time.
Maybe it's your agent.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get an agent. Like, yeah, no, the cams thing is driving me nuts because like cams is 18. Is it? I always get confused. 16 or 18, one of the two.
I've worked
I think
within the fostering agencies, so I think it's 18, but it can go up to 21, depending if they stay within the care system due to education.
Yeah,
He would actually be more referred to mind, wouldn't he?
it's the guy from the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would be referred to mind.